very similar, with the same mother who tried everything she could to stop her from going to a doctor. She was in tears because her mom has her convinced that if she goes against what her mom wants, because she has a weak heart. She was in tears saying, if I go to a doctor, my mom could die. She has a weak heart and this will stress her out. And she lives in constant paranoia of mother. She takes care of her mother, and it should be the other way around. Why not worry about your daughter's health to the point of taking her to a doctor ever? I mean, even she said her brother told her, you look fine to me. I don't know why everyone online is freaking out about the way that you look. You're fine. Even people who don't know her have seen weird shit online that's made them worried about it. There are endless videos with endless comments online like this one from 2 years ago. I also want to say that last night on YouNow, Eugenia said that her mom doesn't think anything is wrong. She said that her mom said, you just need to ignore the stuff online. I hope someone recorded that and posted it on YouTube soon. She was saying her mom is not even worried about her. So for those of you who think we don't need to be paying attention to the mom, think again. How do you recover in a home like that? You know, people are saying I'm taking her happy moment away from her, her moment of recovery, her moment to finally be away from negativity online. Do I want to let her have this moment and be happy and feel good about herself? Yes, with all of my heart. Yes, I do. But do I want her mom to have a moment when people aren't looking at her, a moment where the attention is away from her? Do I want to give her a moment to feel like she got away with it? No, I can't. People are saying I'm selfish. I thought about it for a long time, and maybe they're right. There is a part of me that acted very selfishly in doing all of this, in posting this stuff online. I had a friend a long time ago, and it was a very different situation, but I was aware of problems in the home, and I said nothing. I didn't feel like it was my place. And almost 10 years ago, she killed me, and I have carried that guilt with me every day, and I can't live with that again. I cannot live with that feeling of knowing you could have said something and you didn't, because you can never go back. And I just can't have that again. So yeah, maybe I'm selfish, but if there's even a chance that the information I put online could help her get out of that house, I don't regret it at all. I mean, we're now seeing law enforcement take action from things they've seen online, from things they've seen in YouTube videos. So I know it can help. The internet is a powerful place, and right now it's the only thing I have left. I know she's going to disagree with me. I know she's going to be mad with me. She loves her mom. She loves her mom more than anything. She would do anything. I know how she feels about me. I know how she feels about the intervention. She's speaking to people that I know, and I'm hearing a bit of her side, and none of it surprises me. I knew that she would completely disagree. Like I said, no one is ready for an intervention. That's why it's an intervention. It's always going to feel like a shock. It's always going to feel like, I don't need this. I don't need help. She said that it felt rushed. Yeah, it was rushed. I had tried the soft conversations enough times. Friends of mine had the same conversations. This was time for something a little bit stronger. You know, I was scared. I saw a friend of mine in the worst state I'd ever seen them, and I felt like time was running out. And I felt like it was a life situation, in that I am not exaggerating. So yeah, I took action as fast as I could. And like I said, this wasn't just me. This was a group of people who came together and had conversations about how we were scared for her. All of us were in a state of panic, and we came together and decided that this was the best choice. Did I expect things to get as nasty as they did? No. I was surprised, to say the least, when her driver jumped out of his car and chased me down in the apartment and started banging on the door and yelling and screaming. It was intense. I thought he was going to break in and physically hurt me. I ran into my room and called the police. You know, David was standing at the door. I've had people before find my apartment. I've had problems with stalkers or other people showing up unwanted. I've been fearful before, but nothing like this. But because of those other times, I have a stun gun in my apartment. Not a taser, a stun gun. And in that moment, holding on to that tiny little thing gave me the smallest sense of security. And from what I'm hearing through other conversations, the fact that I had a taser out, you know, out of context, it does make me look bad. It really does. But my God, if you take into consideration the fact that I had this man banging on my door, yelling and screaming at me, I had to run away from him in my apartment building and close the door because he broke in, I was terrified. So yeah, holding on to a little stun gun made me feel better. It was insanity. I thought I was going to have an intervention with a friend that would simply have a conversation with mental health professionals, and that they would decide what was best. And that at that point I would have felt like comfortable knowing that I did what I did. I did not expect police and, you know, fear of physical harm. I didn't expect her mom to be yelling and screaming at me at the phone. I didn't expect to be called a fucking bitch by her mom. You know, there were just a lot of things that I was unprepared for. But again, I don't regret doing what I did. It was traumatic for all involved, and although it is personal and these details are crazy sounding, you know, it's important. It's important to add to the story so people understand that this was something that we had to fight for against her family. They were not on our team. They were not on our side. And she very clearly was unhappy with what I did and took it to pretty extreme measures, yelling at her saying, get out of that house, even after she knew authorities told us to keep her there. I don't care what they say, get out of that house. You're not going to a doctor. People are saying stuff like, maybe the mom's not so bad after all. The same mom who tried to have me arrested for kidnapping, the same mom who told her daughter to ignore authorities and run from mental health professionals, the same mother who never took her daughter to a doctor, the mother who in countless YouTube videos has taken her daughter shopping, having her try on skimpy clothes, saying how cute she looks, the mother who has numerous times told her daughter, you're fine, you don't need help, I don't know why people think there's something wrong with you, ignore what you see online. I just don't get it. Some people say, yeah, maybe she's enabling, but that's not that bad. I don't really even see it as enabling. You know, enabling is, let's say you have a kid that has a problem and you don't cut them off financially because you're worried about them for whatever reason, and then they use your money for the wrong reasons, then maybe, yeah, you're enabling them. But are you really enabling someone when you say, you know what, you don't have a problem, you're fine. You don't need to worry about it. You don't need to work on anything, you're fine. And not only are you fine, if anybody tries to step in and help you, I'm gonna fight them. I'm gonna tell them to back off. I'm gonna tell them they're bad friends. I'm gonna try to tell you to leave that situation where they're trying to get you help. That's not just enabling, that's intent. That's ensuring that they stay sick. I mean, not one visit to a doctor, because you know why? Could you imagine if she walked into a doctor's office? They wouldn't have let her walk out. They would have immediately seen a problem and contacted authorities, and the same cycle would have happened only without me. I could go in circles and talk about this forever. I've met her mom, and I have known Eugenia long enough to know how bad of a situation this is. You know, a lot of people who don't have the information that I have are reporters. All of a sudden, people online can be very judgmental towards me, which, like I said, I expected, but I just consider how hard it is to have a friend that you do this to. And yeah, do this to sounds harsh in and of itself, like you're forcing someone, you're hurting someone because you're doing something that they don't want to do, or you're forcing them to do something they don't want to do. But it's for her best interest, and I will not for 1 second regret doing that intervention, ever. And for the same reason, going public with this information that I feel could potentially help her because she's still in a very dangerous place is something that I just can't, I couldn't live with myself if something happened and I had said nothing. Selfish would have been to keep my friend and bury my head in the sand and do nothing and not worry about the backlash. That would have been selfish and easy. And I don't care, I'm not doing that. A lot of times my friends and I would sit around and talk about how controlling and scary her mother is and how it's weird that the driver drops her off and just stays outside until she's ready to go. You know, but at this point, all of these things that were kind of whispers among friends became a very loud shout in my head. And whenever a video like Shane's goes out and millions of people think that she's in this better place when I know that that's not true, I mean, what other option do I have?